Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start with new developments in the case against an East Valley High School teacher accused of shooting at his ex-wife last month. Benjamin Hill now faces more charges, including attempted murder.
As KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy found out today, May's shooting wasn't even the first time that investigators believe Hill tried to shoot at his ex. Shannon?
Hill now faces charges related to a March shooting at a Cheney Starbucks. Police put those two shootings together after matching bullet casings from both scenes. 41-year-old Benjamin Hill was already facing an assault charge, accused of shooting at his ex-wife's car as she went to work at Sacred Heart. That shooting happened May 18th, but now investigators say it wasn't the first time Hill tried to kill his ex. Hill's now charged with attempted murder and assault for a shooting at a Cheney Starbucks March 4th. Court documents show a car was shot while waiting in the drive-thru. While no one was hurt, the bullet came dangerously close to hitting the driver in the head, coming in through the back passenger side trunk window, skidding along the roof, and landing on the dashboard. A bullet casing was found 180 feet away, though no nearby businesses caught the shooting on surveillance. That 9mm casing was sent to the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab, and on June 8th, the lab notified Cheney police it matched a casing from a shooting at Division and 6th. That same shooting where Hill's ex-wife's car was hit. Hill had already been arrested, charged, and was out on bond in that case. Investigators looked back at body camera video and witnesses at the Starbucks and made another connection. Sitting inside the Starbucks at the time of the shooting was Hill's daughter and ex-wife. Court records show, based on where the casing was found, she would have been visible through the window. However, the shot went right, from the shooter's perspective, and went in the victim's vehicle. Since Hill was out on bond for the May shooting, investigators expedited a test firing of the gun used in the shooting and confirmed it was used in the Cheney case. Hill was arrested June 16th for attempted murder and assault. He's now being held on $1 million bond. The East Valley superintendent tells me Hill has been on leave since his May arrest and hasn't been on campus since then. Right now, Hill's expected to go to trial for both cases on August 21st. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
All right, Shannon, thank you very much. We want to switch gears now. The other big story we are tracking is this heat wave with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo.
Yeah, Jeremy, we are in store for some hot weather starting tomorrow. So what can people expect as they make plans for the 4th of July weekend?
Well, unfortunately, it does look like we not only heat up, but we dry out and see a little bit of wind, so you can expect some higher fire danger headed into the 4th of July weekend. Right now, we sit at 84 degrees here in Spokane. We are warming up, and that slow, steady climb is going to get us warmer than we've been the past few days, and that's all thanks to fewer thunderstorms sparking off across the region. With less storm activity and less cloud cover, we are seeing our temperatures climb a bit more. Still have some of that along Interstate 90 and up in the mountains of North Idaho. A few more over the Cascades and a couple of stray showers in northern Washington, but overall, it is more sunshine and warmer temperatures taking us through the rest of the day. Tomorrow, you're hard-pressed to find a storm. It is going to be hot, sunny, and dry, and that's the pattern that takes us through the weekend. Not much going on, but what we do have is some heat. 90 degrees tomorrow, 92 on Friday, 93 on Saturday. Now, it's all about those temperatures. For this to be an official heat wave, we do kind of have to break that 90-degree mark tomorrow. I think we will, and I think we stay there through the weekend, and it looks like it stays nice and hot for the 4th of July, but unfortunately that does equate to higher fire threats across the region.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. In other top stories tonight, one of the victims shot during a shooting at the Gorge campground has now been released from the hospital. August Morningstar says he came face to face with the shooter before he was shot in the shoulder. He has undergone multiple surgeries over the past week, but remains in good spirits. He told KREM 2 just last week he's not letting this shooting define him.
I'm not going to let one bad experience ruin the rest of my days.
2 women were killed during that shooting and 2 others were hurt. The suspect was also injured after being shot by police. He's now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and is expected back in court next week.
Well, this month marks the end of Spokane Unite's 90-day due diligence plan to address homelessness. Back in March, elected leaders from Spokane, Spokane Valley, Airway Heights, and Cheney all agreed to work together on a more regional plan to tackle the issue. KREM 2's Janelle Finch was at today's 90-day presentation to tell us what the findings are and the next steps.
Today was a major milestone for Spokane Unite's 90-day due diligence plan. Here at the Spokane Convention Center, leaders of that regional collaboration came together to share their main takeaways from the last 90 days. And even though 90 days are up, Spokane Unite says the work doesn't end here. Wednesday morning, Spokane Unite leaders presented its recommendations for funding, staffing, and structuring of a regional authority on homelessness.
So the opportunity to get better really quickly is definitely there.
Hundreds came out to hear how conversations from the last 90 days will be turned into action. Volunteer lead Rick Romero says the regional authority needs a unique structure.
This is going to be a standalone entity that has its own governance and its own structure.
Romero says the regional authority will be supported by a 13-member board and funded by the Housing and Urban Development, Department of Commerce, and CARES Act. Leaders hope by the end of the year, the authority is near operational.
We need to be aggressive in how we address it so it doesn't continue to grow, because we've seen it grow, as you've seen the numbers. Our unsheltered numbers have grown.
Spokane Unite says with its proposed ideas, Spokane's homeless population could be reduced by 40% in the next 2 years. Julie Garcia with Jules Helping Hands says it'll be a challenge to get to the root of the problem on that timeline.
If we're going to address the core problems associated with homelessness, 18 to 24 months is a very short time frame. But with collaboration and political will, we were able to close Camp Hope and house over 200 people. So it is possible.
Spokane Unite says the public can continue to be a part of future conversations. People are encouraged to collaborate with their city representatives and share feedback on Spokane Unite's website. Now begins a 60-day review period of those draft recommendations on funding, staffing, and provider and shelter contracts. The goal is to have all the elements brought together and be fully operational by January 1st. From the Spokane Convention Center, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.